You're walking down the street. Morning. Coffee in hand. The sidewalk gleams from the rain. Someone tossed a slice of pizza near the trash can. And then, there he is. Grey, with an iridescent collar. Pecking. Swallowing. Disappearing. You grimace. A rat with wings, you think. But stop. Imagine. He's gone. Not a single one. Not in New York, not in Moscow, not in Delhi. Just emptiness. And everything remains on the asphalt. Everything we drop. Everything we didn't carry to the bin. Bread, French fries, burger remnants, 12 tons per square mile, every day. Would you clean it up yourself? No. But pigeons do. Not out of kindness, out of hunger. Their stomachs are bioreactors. They devour mold, grease, even microplastics. Things that would kill another bird in an hour. They are the cleaners of the shadows, invisible, unloved, but working. Without them, the garbage would spill into the streets. Not a metaphor, a fact. In Boston, where the pigeon population decreased by 40%, rats increased by 17% in one season. Do you feel the city stirring beneath your feet? Now, look up, to the rooftops. Peregrine falcons nest there, the pride of the skyscrapers. 78% of their diet is pigeons. Only pigeons. Remove them, and the predators will start falling. Not metaphorically, physically, from 30 stories high, right onto the sidewalk, in the very spot where your unfinished sandwich lies. And yes, droppings. The very thing you hate. In 2023, bacteria were found in them, eating polyethylene. Imagine, your enemy, the key to salvation from plastic. Do you still think they're useless? They are not pests. They are sanitation workers, the last ones to eat what we don't want to see. And while you wave them away, the city holds on by their beaks. Imagine what you see, Brooklyn. Morning, fog over the sidewalks. Dr. Emily Rodriguez stands on the corner of Bedford Avenue with a camera in her hands. She's not looking at people. She's looking down at how gray shadows peel off ledges and dive to the ground. She's counting. Not birds, food, or rather, what's left of it. Yesterday, 37 pizza slices, 22 bags of fries, and 15 burger wrappers lay here. Today, almost nothing, only grease stains and droppings. Her cameras captured everything. 203 pigeons in 3 hours. They ate the equivalent of 30 large pizzas. Not fresh, spoiled, covered in mold, soaked in oil. Things even rats avoid. Would you swallow that? No. But pigeons do. Not because they love it, because they can. Their stomachs are like microwave ovens with enzymes. They break down fat, sugar, even mold. For crows, it's death. For them, breakfast. They didn't evolve in forests. They grew up next to our dumps, with our mistakes, with our excess. 32 pigeons per 1,000 inhabitants. Not a coincidence. A biological calculator. The city breathes. They eat. Look at Boston, 2021. Officials decided, enough. They reduced the population by 40%. Clean, tidy, budget-friendly. 2 weeks later, sanitation workers reported organic waste on the streets increased by 22%. A month later, rats increased by 17%. Why? Because without pigeons, the grease didn't disappear. It accumulated, rotted, stank, attracted. A chain reaction began with one decision. They removed the cleaners. They invited the thieves. Now, look up. Chicago. 30 stories. A peregrine falcon on the edge of steel. Hungry. Angry. Its eyes are like radar. It's looking for movement. Gray. Fast. Familiar. 78% of its diet is pigeons. Only them. Close enough. Stupid enough. Numerous enough. Remove them, and the falcons will start falling. Not a metaphor. Physics. Hunger doesn't allow soaring. Do you still think they are pests? They are living composters. Free. Reliable. Invisible. While you photograph the sunset, they are eating your lunch. While you argue about the climate, they are recycling your trash. While you hate their droppings, bacteria are already at work in it, devouring plastic. Imagine a world without them. Clean? Yes. But only for the first 2 days. Then, the smell. Then, the rats. Then, silence on the rooftops. And then you'll understand. Pigeons are not a mistake of the city. They are its last filter. His name is Manhattan. A peregrine falcon, 68 centimeters of deadly plumage. Morning. He soars from a spire cutting through the air above the Brooklyn Bridge. Below, a gray tremor. Pigeons. He dives. 320 kilometers per hour. Impact. Claws sink in. Bones crack. This isn't hunting. It's desperation. Because in this city, there are no rabbits, no voles, nothing but them. Pigeons. Did you think falcons hunt mice? No. They hunt what you threw away, what you hate, what you call a mistake. Notice. His wings tremble. Not from the wind, from hunger. Yesterday he returned to the nest with empty talons. The chicks chirped. Today, back into battle. Because there's no choice. Studies in Chicago, New York, and San Francisco hit hard. 78% of peregrine falcon food is pigeons, not sparrows, not gulls. Precisely them. Large. Slow. Predictable. They circle your coffee shops, your trash cans, your feet. For a predator in a concrete labyrinth, it's like finding a burger joint in the desert. Peregrine falcons returned to cities not out of nostalgia. They returned because you fed them lunch, your trash, your guilt. Imagine, you remove all the pigeons. Clean, quiet, humane. And what? A week later, the peregrine falcons start falling. Not a metaphor. Physics. Hunger doesn't allow soaring. It already happened in Denver. In 2019, they reduced pigeons, and peregrine falcon chicks died. The adults flew away. Sparrows? too small. To feed a brood, you need to catch 40 in a day. A peregrine falcon can't do it. It's built for one strike, one kill, one meal. EPA models are not joking. Remove pigeons, and predators will decrease by 60% in 5 years. Silence on the rooftops, emptiness in the sky. Is that what you want? Strange, isn't it? Pigeons were once valued, sent from the front lines, kept in cages. Now, you poison them, scare them away, erase them. How did it happen? How did a hero become an enemy? The answer is in your hand. In that burger you didn't finish. In that trash you didn't clean up. Do you still think they're useless? Look at Manhattan. He's not an enemy. He's a mirror. And in his eyes, the reflection of your choice. Do you remember what they were called in the 19th century? Not rats with wings, not filthy creatures. They were called saviors. Scene, 1863. A field near Chicago. Smoke. Blood. A wounded soldier with trembling fingers ties a capsule to the leg of a grey pigeon. The bird soars through the whistle of bullets, through the haze, flies 30 miles, without a map, without a navigator, only instinct and duty. The Washington Post would write the next day, "Pigeon delivered order, battalion saved." Back then, they were valued. Towers were built for them. Medals were hung. They were treated for colds. Today, you shy away from them at coffee shops. But what has changed? Not the birds. You, your cities, your trash. With the growth of concrete, pigeons didn't disappear. They adapted. Not to you, to your waste, to the 12 tons of food you drop every day per square mile. They didn't multiply without reason. Their 32 per 1,000 inhabitants is not an invasion. It's a mirror. You eat, they clean. You waste, they survive. And then comes Los Angeles. 2018. Officials decide, enough. They launch a sterilization program without scientists, without models, simply fewer birds, cleaner city. Sounds logical? Let's check. A year later, 19% more decaying remains on the streets. Flies, rats. A smell that sickens even the sanitation workers. And on the rooftops, silence. The peregrine falcons flew away. The chicks died. Because 40 sparrows a day is not a meal. It's suicide for a predator. Do you still believe in cleanliness? And now, the droppings. Yes, the very thing you wipe off your back, cursing. In 2023, scientists from Stanford looked under a microscope and saw bacteria stirring in it, not just living, devouring polyethylene, polystyrene, the very plastic you throw in the trash and forget. Pigeon droppings, not a threat. It's a bioreactor on the go. Imagine, you've removed all the pigeons. The city sparkles, sidewalks, like in a museum. But a week later, the grease on the asphalt doesn't disappear. It rots, attracts rats. They multiply, carry diseases. And in the sky, Emptiness. Not a single peregrine falcon. Not a single cry. Only the wind and the smell of decomposition. Is that what you wanted? Pigeons are not an urban error. They are its emergency valve. When you stop hating them, you'll see. They don't beg for charity. They work. For the food you didn't finish. For the city you didn't clean. And yes, once they were sent from the front lines. Today, they are on the front lines for you. 2023. Johns Hopkins University Lab. Silence. Only the hum of the refrigerator and the drip of condensation. Dr. Lin Zhou brings a petri dish to the microscope. Inside, a grayish mass. Droppings. Collected from a Baltimore dumpster. Under the lens, not dirt. Life is teeming. Millions of bacteria. Devouring, not just eating. Tearing apart. Polyethylene. The very thing you threw in the trash yesterday. Would you believe that your enemy is a savior? Scene. Close up. Plastic film. On it, a drop of pigeon droppings. An hour passes. The film wrinkles, cracks, disappears. Not dissolving. Destroyed. Enzymes in pigeon intestines. Not just enzymes. It's a factory. A symbiosis. The bird eats microplastics. Bacteria inside it learn to break them down. Not survive. Process. In 14 days, 18% of the plastic mass disappears into nothing. Not into the ocean, not into the soil, into biomass, into carbon dioxide, into water, clean, quiet, free. And now, a question. What if this isn't an accident? What if pigeons are not a system malfunction but an upgrade? Imagine bioreactors on rooftops, not solar panels, not wind turbines, but colonies of bacteria from droppings, processing waste right at the source. Startups in California are already trying it. The first samples, 3 times more effective than industrial counterparts. And all of this from what you wash off benches. Do you still think droppings are dirt? And now, the worst case scenario. Not a reduction. Complete disappearance. Tomorrow, 0 pigeons, 0 droppings, 0 bacteria. The streets sparkle, clean, sterile. But 3 days later, the grease on the asphalt doesn't disappear. It rots, flies, rats, a smell that turns your stomach. Falcons are silent, chicks are dead, and plastic? It lies there, as it lay, as it will lie. EPA models don't lie. In 30 days, organic waste will increase by 25%. Not because we started eating more, because the last filter disappeared, the last cleaner, the last chance. Notice, you don't hate pigeons for their droppings. You hate them because they remind you of your trash, of your choice, of your laziness. And what if instead of poison, a shovel? Instead of repellents, collectors? What if pigeon droppings are not a threat, but a signal? A signal that nature has already found a solution and is waiting for us to stop being afraid of dirt and see hope in it. Look under your feet. That gray lump on the sidewalk, not waste. It's code. And it says, I eat for you. And you think. Imagine you wake up in Austin. Morning, sun, coffee on the balcony, the streets, like after rain. Clean, empty, not a single grey wing, no pigeons, just switched off, like a light bulb. First day, silence. You smile. Finally, order. Second day, the sidewalks sparkle. Cafes throw out leftovers, sandwiches, donuts, puddles of coffee, but no one picks them up. Do you notice it? No. You rush to work. Third day, a smell. Sweetish, sour, like spoiled milk in the sun. The grease on the asphalt no longer shines. It bubbles. Mold creeps from the bins to the doors. Would you go out without a mask? Fifth day, buzzing. Not a motorcycle. Flies. A dense cloud over puddles of oil and donut glaze. They're not flying. They're boiling. Children aren't playing. Cafe owners are cursing. Cleaners are in a panic. Seventh day. Rats. Not at night. During the day. Bold. Hungry. Rummaging through trash right at the bakery entrance. Do you see one dragging a piece of bacon? Your stomach clenches. 14th day. You don't go out. The air. Thick. Like syrup. The sidewalks are covered in black slime. Neighbors complain of nausea. City services can't cope. Organic waste. Up 22%. In 2 weeks. Do you still think cleanliness is the absence of birds? And now, look up. Rooftops. Silence. Peregrine falcons aren't screaming. They flew away. Or fell. Chicks are dead. No pigeons, no meat. Sparrows? Too small. A falcon needs 1 kill, not 40. Would you feed him yourself? This isn't a hypothesis. It's an EPA model. 5 years without pigeons, and predators are down 60%. The ecosystem doesn't break with a crash. It rots quietly, from within. Do you still consider them pests? Look at the numbers. 32 pigeons per 1,000 inhabitants. Not chaos. Calculation. They don't invade. They reflect. The more you eat, the more there are of them. They are your feathered mirror. Remove them, and you won't get cleanliness. You'll get a dump, a real one, without filters, without cleaners, without hope. Would you leave your house on the 14th day? I wouldn't risk it. Did you think crows would replace them? Here's why. No. Scene. San Francisco. Fish market. A tourist drops a donut in a puddle of mayonnaise. A moment, and a grey wave covers the asphalt. Pigeons. Beaks in grease, eyes fearless. They eat everything. Mold, sauce, crumbs, dirt. But above, on a lamppost, a crow. Motionless. Watching. Not descending. Waiting. Not for this. He's waiting for a whole apple. A fresh piece of bread. A mouse. But not the garbage. Because his stomach is not a microwave. It breaks down from fat, from sugar, from rot. Would you swallow what a pigeon eats? And a crow cannot. Only pigeons. Only pigeons. Their guts. Not just guts. It's a biohack. For 200 years next to us, their microbiome has mutated. Bacteria inside them now devour saturated fats like you devour chips. They break down complex carbohydrates as if it were water. Crows? Their system collapses from a single oily potato chip. Gulls? They look for fish, not burgers, not donuts, not your laziness. They need the ocean, not a trash can by the coffee shop. Johns Hopkins research hits the nail on the head. No other species eats 12 tons of waste per square mile. Not crows, not gulls, not even rats. Only pigeons. Do you still believe in replacement? Here's the shocking truth. Pigeons are the only birds in America that eat exactly what you call trash. Not bird food, not crumbs from your hand, but real junk, wrappers with ketchup residue, dusty chips, moldy burgers, what you throw away and forget. For them, it's a resource, fuel, life. They don't ask. They recycle. They turn your wastefulness into flesh, into energy, into a Peregrine falcon's dinner. Remove them, and the trash becomes dead. Leave them, and it re-enters the cycle. You hate them for their droppings? But by the way, it eats plastic. You chase them from the sidewalks, but they clean up what you didn't carry to the bin. They are not an ornament. They are a function, like sewage, like a traffic light, like breathing. And if even the one you despise keeps the city afloat, maybe you're looking in the wrong place. Maybe the hero isn't in a cape, but in gray feathers. Look under your feet. The one you call a rat with wings is the only one who eats for you, unconditionally, without days off. Every day. Only pigeons. Only pigeons. Everything we've seen is not an accident. It's a system. 12 tons of waste per day per square mile. Not trash. It's a diet. 32 pigeons per 1,000 inhabitants. Not an invasion. It's a balance. 78% of Peregrine falcon's food. Not statistics. It's life. And all of it rests on gray feathers that you swat with a newspaper at the coffee shop. Scene, New York. Sunset. The Peregrine falcon Manhattan sits on a spire like a guardian. Below, a flock, pecking, swallowing, disappearing. Among them, the very one that devoured your unfinished bagel this morning. A minute later, a whistle in this air, a dive, 390 kilometers per hour, impact. And the cycle begins again. Not cruelty, necessity. Nearby, on Bedford Avenue, stands Dr. Emily Rodriguez. She's not photographing death. She sees the connection. Every pigeon, a link. Every dropping, a bioreactor. Every one killed, a meal for the one who keeps the sky clear of thieving crows and sick rats. She smiles. Not because she loves blood, but because, finally, the city has shown its face. Not concrete. Living. Do you still think they are pests? We hate pigeons because they don't fit our ideal. We want nature in a pot, manicured, silent. But they are noisy, dirty, real. They don't ask permission. They simply eat what we threw away. And in that is their genius. They don't invade the city. They save it from us. The city, not a creation. It's a home. And in a home, there's always room for someone who cleans up after the owner, even if the owner spits on them. Imagine, you no longer see them on the sidewalks, clean, sterile. But a week later, a smell. 2 weeks later, rats. A month later, silence on the rooftops. Is that what you wanted? Here's your choice. Not about birds. About you. Right? Yes or no? Yes. If you are ready to admit that a hero can be in grey. No. If you prefer cleanliness, behind which truth rots. Your vote, not a comment. It's the first step, either to a dump or to balance. Look under your feet. The one you despised is the last one who believes in your city.